thank the industry for coming through today. I want to also thank my headmistress from my secondary school, who sent me a message this morning wishing me well. And my other mother who is sitting there, Grace Omabo, Auntie Grace, welcome. I'm the 6th of 8 children born to Patrick and Helen Gomashie of blessed memory. I'm the 5th girl of 6 girls with 2 brothers. My oldest brother is here, and my younger sister is also here. I was born in Burma camp to a military father and a mother who was a teacher. And retired to sell in the Medina market. I have a very checkered history with my primary school. I started at Gonda Barracks, Reki, and through Medina to Kumasi and to Sunyani. And proceeded to St. Louis Secondary School in Kumasi. After failing my first O-level, I had to work for 10 years. And after 10 years, I managed to go to the University of Ghana to do my diploma. I went back to do a degree and went back again to do an MPhil. I've been working since I was probably 17 into 18 years. Because I had to make some money to continue with my education. So it's at that point that I met people like Grace Omabo, who is seated here, who belong to the Talent Theatre Company. I volunteered in that group for years and had opportunity to perform for NAFTI students who were graduating as filmmakers. I was employed by the National Theatre of Ghana, and I've also worked at the National Commission on Culture. I proceeded to resign from the National Theatre in 2003 to get an MPhil. Whilst I was doing the MPhil, I set up Mama's Kitchen, which was an eatery. I ran that eatery for 10 years and closed it down in 2016. Before I closed it down in 2013, I was blessed to be nominated by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, to be the Deputy Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. I served in that capacity for 3.5 years, and in 2016, when we lost power, I moved on to re-engage with an NGO that I set up called Values for Life, which I set up to basically give opportunity to young people to unearth their talents and also meet people in the same industry and domains to learn from them. So I managed that too for a little bit, and then that too is in comatose right now because I contested in Ketu South to be the Member of Parliament in 2020. I subsequently won that election and was sworn in as the Member of Parliament for same constituency. I have, by the grace of God, also recently just won the elections again, and I'm representing the good people of Ketu South one more time in this Parliament. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank
by
you.
the way, I'm a widow with children. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you very much. We'll now proceed to vet you. Very well. Minority Leader, I want to say something.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable nominee, I have something to share with you. When we're vetting you, when we're doing the vetting, some of the guests who come think we take too long or that we overstretch in matters. I will plead with you that your answers, brevity, can help you. If you talk too long, it will lead to more questions being asked you. So I would urge you, pay attention to the questions and proceed. Is that a fair advice?
Leader, totally appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I proceed to give the floor to Roxanne Dafamako, I am happy that the ranking member and the minority leader is now talking about brevity principle. I believe strongly when he gets to his time to question you, the same principle will be applicable to him. I'm most grateful. Roxanne, you have the floor.
Chairman, may you live long. Ete, you are welcome. And let me congratulate you for catching the president's eye and getting this nomination. You are going to man a very important ministry, tourism, and I know tourism and culture and creative arts. This is a ministry that you had manned before by deputizing for the minister some time ago. Tourism for some brief moments between 1997 to about 2001 was the third highest earner for our country. And that was the time that you were in the thick of affairs in some departments in that area. And I hope that being the arrowhead now, you bring the ministry back to that lofty heights. So you are welcome. Now, one of the key thematic areas regarding this subsector of the economy is a promise by our party now in government to roll out what we call the Black Star experience. Some persons don't really know what that is. Can you use this opportunity to expatiate on that program for us? Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you also for the brief reminder. And once again, I acknowledge His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama for the honor once again. So I think that in our country, we admit that our symbol and what we stand for is the Black Star of Africa, given to us by the first president of the Republic of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah. And of course, I'm not a football fan, but we have the Black Stars also. The idea of having the Black Star as the center around which we are going to revolve tourism, culture, and creative arts is in its right place, because across Africa, wherever you go in the world at large also, people acknowledge us as being the Black Star of Africa. The Independence Square is also reflecting that same ideology. The Black Star experience is not an event. It's a culmination of all the things that we have been doing and will do to celebrate and promote our country as a destination for tourism, culture, and creative arts. The ideas around it revolve around what various districts and regions can do themselves to celebrate what is unique to those communities. It is also an opportunity for us to have mainstream culture and tourism and creative arts, so that departments, agencies, and ministries will together see what components of their mandate can be hinged to my sector or our sector as creative artists, as cultural activists, as a Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. So it's a broad base of the various ways in which we can look at celebrating our uniqueness as the Black Star of Africa.
Thank you very
Chairman.
much. Any further question?
That is so, Chairman. I think in my constituency, specifically at Peki, I have some able-bodied, well-skilled young men whose vocation is into carving drums. And they build drums, beautiful drums, that are purchased and exported and all that. They are located at Peki and Yinsu when you are entering Peki from Askuma. Now, I'm pursuing your ministry to, as it were, provide them with a well-developed red stop and artifacts village where they can display their exhibit and display their wares for tourists who are on domestic visitation to our region, to be able to have a one-stop shop to be able to purchase these things. We provided, I've sent the application, I've provided a site plan, land. The chief of Avetili, Togbe Ayim, has provided land for that project. I hope that you consider it and complete it when you are nominated. I hope so.
This is a chop, but Mr. Chairman, I would say that the District Assemblies Act should be reviewed. And as a lawyer, I'll be needing your help on that. The District Assemblies have opportunity to, each of them, develop tourism specifically for their communities. I'll be more than happy to work with them on that so that the concept of having the centers for national culture across the country be revived. And I think that it's an area that has potential of having low-hanging fruits for young people who are talented and creative to take advantage of. So yes, I'll work with you to make that happen. Thank you.
Beautiful. Chairman, finally, I am troubled by, a lot of people don't know that I have a background in tourism training. I'm troubled by the incidence of climate change, which, as it were, affects the management of your nature-based tourist attraction sites. The biomes are depleted by bushfires, and recently the studies have established that Galamsey activities are also adversely impacting the nature-based tourism attraction sites. As an arrowhead for the ministry, what programs will you quickly implement to ensure that these attraction sites are not affected by such activities?
Thank you, Chairman. It's a matter that is worrying, considering that I come from the seaside, and you know what climate change and global warming has been doing to our communities along the beaches. So it is not only in the interland, but also our country, our country as a whole. The ecotourism is what the world is driving towards, and it's important that we take advantage of it. It will interest you to know, Chairman, that one of the committees that have voluntarily joined is the Climate Change Committee, because I know that it is what can help my specific community. So I share in your concern. I think that education, we cannot leave it in the hands of one sector. All of us must be interested in keeping our country clean and promoting ecotourism, and also ourselves being ready to want to live in a clean and healthy environment. So it will be great to be able to work with the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, and also allied agencies to see how best we can do this together. I know that the World Bank invited me to a couple of meetings back in this, I think between 2013 2016 and 2017 to discuss these things, and I'm willing to go back to them and see how we can take that up. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I will proceed to give the floor. Roxanne, with all due respect, I will proceed to give the floor to Honorable Yaobuama.
Oh, I'm not ready.
Very well. Uma Alasan. Very well. Honorable Shaibu.
Yeah. Shall I just leave my... Chairman, thank you very much. Honorable nominee, congratulations. A well-deserved nomination. You did 3.5 years at the ministry. The last 8 years, you're not sure what has happened there. I have only one question, so I want to compress it. Chairman, I'll do a follow-up anyway. Mole National Park, one that is comparable to those in Kenya, in Uganda, and other places, largely is seen as a site that has been neglected for some time in terms of development. Indeed, it is the only place in Ghana that you will find the animals that you find in East Africa. And yet, very little is said about it, either in the media or in terms of investment into it. A huge potential for growth and for the development of the tourism industry. From there, a few kilometers away from Mole, indeed in Mole Park itself, there is a beautiful waterfall that has not been mentioned. It's called the Paria Waterfalls. A few kilometers from Mole is the Salaga Slave Market, a very important historical site that has also not had a much needed attention. Honorable nominee, give us a fair idea how you plan to tackle these two sites in northern Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. As I indicated in my earlier comment to Honorable Roxanne, the Black Star experience is the way to go, which is seeking to encourage districts, municipal assemblies, and what have you, to themselves invest in their own regions as far as their tourism is concerned. The ministry, being a policy-making one, has many agencies under it that will assist them. They are, and you rightly said, I haven't been there in 8 years, but they were equipped with the skilled personnel to help them develop ways in which they can promote and benefit from the tourism potential that they each have in their communities. I agree with you that Mole for years has been on one of the sites, the list of sites that are usually visited by visitors. What they probably need is more investment, and it's an area where our country needs to focus more on, to give more to the sector so we can bring in the required resources that we all agree that we are able to do. So I'll be pushing the agenda for that and hope that the municipal assemblies, as I indicated, when the MCs are nominated and they pass, to engage them. I started that with Honorable Julius Deborah when he was Minister for Local Government. I sought his permission to meet with the MCs when he met them at Gimpa, to let them know that it's important for them to themselves bring to the ministry what they want us to help them to promote. And so I'll be championing that again. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I wish you well.
I'll give the floor to Honorable Patrick Yaboma.
Thank you, Chairman, and congratulations, Honorable Dzifa Gomashie. I was just reading the report from the Ghana Tourist Authority about cruise tourism. I'm sure you're aware about it. They reported about 9,000 visitors in 2023. 86% of them went to Cape Coast and Secondary Takrady area, just about 13% in Tema area. I also found out that there are 2 local companies involved in this business, Sunseekers and Kaya Tours, Sunseekers Tours. I know a lot of Ghanaians who go to Bahamas and Caribbean to undertake these tourist activities. And I've never heard about this before until I read on their website. I believe it's an area you should look into, especially those of us from the forest areas who are afraid of being on a boat or a ship or a cruise liner to explore the beautiful sea. What are you going to do apart from looking into artifacts, trade shows here and there, in some of the untapped areas of tourism and the challenges therein? I want us to explore further some of these areas. And what are some of the new things you'll be introducing, especially with some of the things that I'm reading about? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. And Honorable MP, you're not alone in the fear of water. I was born in Accra and I live in Aplau by the sea, but I'm terrified of water. But it's an area that people have passion for and must be invested in and supported. I have had conversations with some Navy officers. In fact, only 2 days ago, one of them showed me also dolphins in our high waters, which could also be added to this cruise experience. It's an area that is new to me and the ministry. I do not recall our engagement in cruise promotion as Deputy Minister back in the day. But it is an area that has been brought to my attention, and the potential seems to be like a very good one. So I will be engaging more on that and seek knowledge and experience from those who have it, so that it can come to the benefit of our country. I think that the untapped opportunities abound, and this is one of them, and I thank you for bringing it up. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Dzifa, Ghana has not been able to host major international conferences, and that is a source of revenue or income for most of our tourist facilities, the hotels, restaurants, bars, and what have you. And the answer is simple. We don't even have some of the best conferencing facilities here. We can't boast of 1,500 international or standard rooms in this country. We talk too much, but that's a fact. We can't boast of 1,500 top of the range rooms. If you go to Kempinski, I don't think they have more than 300 rooms. Movenpick, they don't have more than 250 rooms. Lancaster, they won't get you more than 250. Where again? Marriott. They can't, let alone conferencing facilities that will bring a lot of people into this country and engage car rental companies and what have you. Secondly, our room rates, very expensive. So why won't your nationals go to South Africa, Gambia, Cote d'Ivoire, and other countries, and explore? So what advice will you be giving to the finance minister to look into that area and rather bring down some of the taxes in the tourism sector to attract a lot more people and to raise some additional revenue for the country? What is your take on that, please?
Thank you very much, Chair, and you have hit the nail right on the head. This is an unending discussion, especially where the hotel rates are concerned. Even hotels that have franchise in other countries, ours tend to be very high comparatively. So I agree with you that the lack of infrastructure to meet the growing demands of the world and our country is there in our faces. Apart from engaging with the Minister for Finance, I think that everybody and anyone listening to me who has the wherewithal to engage with private sector in Ghana, out of Ghana, to ensure that we improve on our infrastructure capacity. You are welcome to engage with me after the vetting, and if I do get your nod, this is an issue that we must deal with. I agree with you that the lack of these facilities indeed take away from what could be revenue for our country. Taxes, taxes, taxes. It has been the cry of the hospitality industry from way back when I used to MC their events, and I was not even in the ministry as deputy minister. I've MC'd a lot of programs for this sector, and it is an issue that we must collectively deal with. I overheard the incoming Minister for Finance, Honorable Atufosin, saying that he has studied this economy so well, and he has a fair idea how he wants to help us as a country restructure it. I'll be tagging along him and lobbying him vigorously. And I know that you're an economic person as well. And since you identify this problem with me, you perhaps would want to join me to have these kinds of conversations with the finance people so they appreciate the enormity of the task ahead. I thank you, Chairman.
Let me congratulate you and wish you the very best. Thank you.
Very grateful.
I now give the floor to Honorable Ritana Odole.
And so over the 4 years, I've been giving them opportunities to learn skills. I've been assisting them to get an education. And I've been creating opportunities for them to look outside and think outside the box. That if, for example, my parents were teachers before my dad went into the army, whatever your parent did, you don't have to look at only that, but there are other opportunities. And I share experiences of other people from the constituency who have done very well as a form of role modeling and mentoring. I think so far that has been my strength in empowering the community to take charge over their lives by engaging.
Well, President John Dramani Mahama there, and he has sworn in the 6 ministers approved by Parliament. It's time now to take you back to the vetting where Dzifa Gomashie is being vetted by the Appointments Committee.
Address it with your government in office with this 24-hour economy mantra.
So in 2020, my party, the NDC, had in its manifesto the need to engage in entrepreneurship and skills development. And even though the party itself was not in power, I started that. It's in our manifesto again, and I intend to pursue it even more vigorously. Additionally, I will, put my ear to the ground and see areas in which opportunities may avail and ensure that they are not left out of the sharing of the national cake. Thank you.
So now you are in office. The youth are very impatient all over, and you can't blame them for their impatience. They need jobs. How would you react to a request by your constituency executives that, come what may, all employment in your sector should have at least 10% from your constituency? How would you react to a request of that by your constituency executives, that they come listing all the sectors in your ministry and tell you that every recruitment give 10% to your constituency? How would you react to them?
Thank you, Chairman. I suppose that they are a part of the population that we have, and it's fair for them to demand their fair share of the national cake and opportunities that avail. It has to be done equitably, that everybody who is a youth, when the opportunities come, gets or takes advantage of it. So I suppose that's the best way to answer your question. Thank you.
Now, you are 18 in Parliament. So far, only 3 of you have made it to the president list. Would you agree with me that the remaining 15 you will now have to share their burden with them?
Yes.
So, in sharing their burden, it means that there are constituency problems. Because you are a minister, you will be privileged. So you will help them in resources, correct?
Chairman, I'll learn how to cross that bridge when I get to it. But I'll be tapping in the experience of those who have gone before me and see how they did it so that I model my steps according to what they have done. Thank you.
Let's come to the mainstream. What has brought you here? What is the tourism policy of your party? What is the tourism policy of your party?
Chairman, the policy is to make tourism, culture, and creative arts a driving force that harnesses the resources of our country, manages it, promotes it, and give it the energy to bring in the required results in terms of revenue. It seeks to employ culture, creative arts to accelerate the benefits of tourism. We have indicated that there's going to be a revamping of the sector, and the beginning of it would be to see how we align properly all the laws that revolve or work for the sector. Some are overlapping now, and so we have to look at that. But the policy will be generally to contribute to the GDP to the best of our ability. We have tabled the Black Star experience as one of the policy areas to see how we can make tourism, as I said before, take center stage in the ministry.
Do you have your NDC manifesto with you?
I have the abridged version.
The bit on tourism.
Yes, I'm here.
Were you part of the preparation of the tourism policy?
I was a part of the, sorry.
Honestly, were you part of? If you were not part of it, I won't proceed on that. But if you were, I can, because I have very critical questions to ask. I will spare you. If you were not part of the preparation of the policy, just tell me. I'll stay off it. I'm being very honest with you, and I'm not going to surprise you.
And my honest answer is that I was a member of the committee. I did not have enough opportunity to attend meetings, but I'm on the page with them, so I followed up on that. Thank you.
So you did not play an active role in putting this in the enactment of this policy. You did not.
I will agree.
So you would agree with me that it is your first time of having an interface with this policy of your party now in government.
That I will not agree to, because as I said,
explain. Why?
As I said, we have a page. We've met a couple of times with the committee, and I'm on the page with them. So every task that is given, the reports are on the page, so I read it. So it's not new to me. So now you have the policy with you, right? Yes.
Okay. Turn to the aspects of the policy on creative arts, specifically creative arts. Share with us what the creative arts industry should expect from this government.
Mr. Chairman, the page that is here is page 67, and it's very brief. If you permit me to read it. Do I have your permission?
Please do.
So, the next NDC government will create and promote the Black Star Experience as Ghana's flagship culture, arts and tourism brand to make Ghana a preferred tourism destination. The Black Star Experience will undertake a year-round celebration in all the major entertainment, artistic, and educational disciplines. This will include the celebration of the following: the Pan-African Month, celebrating heritage, history, and diaspora engagement, the Ghana Film Festival and Awards Month, Ghana Music World, Culinary Month, Architecture, Design, Arts and Crafts, Fashion and Textiles Month, Literacy Literally Month. We will also support young digital content creators in developing content that promotes Ghanaian culture, revive the Creative Arts Fund to provide sustainable financial support for startups and the ailing large, medium and small creative enterprises.
Okay, let's stay there. So, back to it. Revive the Creative Arts Fund to provide sustainable financial support for startups and for ailing large, medium, and small creative enterprises. So let's stay on sustainable, to provide sustainable financial support. How does your party seek to achieve this? How does it intend to achieve this now that you are going to be the main implementer of the policy?
So, from the experience of the NDC when we were in government under, shall I say, President John Dramani Mahama I, we had a fund for the sector. I think that to sustain it, domains will have to assess the fund and make it a revolving one. So whatever you want to champion with the fund that you assess, you should be able to have a turnover that is returned for other people to come and also benefit from it.
Good. You see, Honorable, this is an important thing that I want us to take note. You realize that a lot of times these supports come as a social intervention support, and people take it, access it, and will not want to pay back. If you want to pursue, they will remind you of their votes. Let's face reality. Are you sure that practically you can get people to pay back? Are you sure?
I think that we can work at it. Do we have opportunity to recover everything? Probably not, but we could try, because it's the same with, the financial sector. People borrow money from the banks. Do they always pay? They don't always pay, but some do pay. So we have to put in mechanisms that encourage people to return it and probably get reward for that. So I'm sure that the examples abound in other sectors that we can learn from. How do the banks do it? We can pick from that and leave out of their books and make it work in our case. Thank you.
So this fund, this creative art fund that you are going to revive, how would you fund it? With your government promising a repeal of the e-levy tax, repealing even taxes at our port, taking away COVID levy, doing away with a lot of taxes, that is one key promise of your government, to do away with a lot of taxes. Now, this fund would have to be funded. Going there, with the benefit of the manifesto, how is it going to be funded?
Mr. Chairman, I think that the history is there that funding for sectors don't always come from GOG only. It is the reason why we sought to ratify some conventions from UNESCO, so that it gives us opportunity to tap into the resources that they have as well. So it's not necessarily just GOG. Chances are you're very resourceful. Chances are even you can say that you will take a certain part of our domains and support us with funding, which can be used. But I'll hesitate to agree with you that it's only GOG that is capable of funding, giving us funding for this project. So we are open to the experiences that we have garnered over the years to see how this works. Thank you.
Honorable Domini, you see, there are many creative arts Ghanaians watching, listening, okay? They are looking forward to a sustainable source of funding for their survival. I have a lot of these guys in my constituency. You have a lot of them in your constituency. We have a lot of creative arts Ghanaians who are suffering. Now, for you to say that you are going to revive the fund should suggest that you know the status of the fund. Are you able to tell us the status of this fund that you are going to revive?
I am unable to, considering that it's been 8 years. I do not know where we stand with that, but it's one of the things that I have to do as soon as possible to see where it is and where we can take it from here. Thank you.
Can I suggest to you that the best way to sustain this and to make it active, to benefit the industry, will be to ensure a levy that will regularly feed into the fund?
Yes, we do have the tourism levy. It is possible that we can probably add on, but I'll hasten cautiously and rely only on what we already have, and see how we work around it and perhaps move forward with it. Thank you.
Can you assure the nation of some timelines? Because you know how our constituents, our citizens, especially the youth, when we make promises to them in our manifesto, on campaign platforms, when we come into office, they become expectant, and legitimately so. What time frame can you give?
It is for that same reason that I would plead with you not to ask me to give you a time frame. Because you and I know that our youth are hungry. And when you're not careful, when you make promises that you are not sure of, you set yourself up for failure. What I can assure the youth of this country is that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has indicated his desire to create opportunities for them to thrive, and in so doing, help us build a strong economy for our country. I will put my shoulders to the wheel and assist him to achieve that. Thank you.
The Honorable, at this point, most respectfully, is about policy implementation. No rhetorics, no talk. They are demanding to know when the Creative Arts Fund will now be accessible. They would want to know even how much startups they will get and all. So to generalize will not be doing justice to the issue. I would want you to consider being as practical as possible if you cannot readily commit, but as soon as you get to office, because it's something that you cannot wish away. You agree with that?
Absolutely. I cannot wish it away, but I can be cautious as I go forward and be guarded in promises that I make on this platform. I'm sure that the opportunities will arise when we are sworn in and I take office, that I come back to the committee or on the floor for us to address these issues, but I will not be making promises that I cannot keep. I do not know what's in the kitty, so based on what will I make such promises? So I would plead with Chair to let this slide, because I do not have any promise to make, because as I sit here, it will not be good for me to make any promises when I have not assumed office. Thank you.
Now, would you know the Ghana Enterprise Agency, former NBSSI? You know about it?
I've heard about it.
We gave them a new identity through an enactment in Parliament. Ghana Enterprise Agency. You are aware that they've been disbursing funds to the creative art industry and traders and all. So I want to find out from you whether you can rely on that agency to support the creative art industry pending the introduction of this your creative arts fund. Because they cannot wait. The youth cannot wait.
It's a suggestion that I will embrace and pursue when I'm given the nod. Thank you.
Similarly, would you want to tap into the Maslock Fund as an interim measure to support the creative art industry as soon as you get a nod, whilst you put your house in order on your own policy?
If it's something that you are sure of and sharing that information with me, I'll gladly go and pursue that. But I do not know the framework within which Maslock disburses its funds. But I will explore it. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, you agree with me that your work will require a lot of travel. You agree with me?
To a large extent, yes.
You would agree with me that that would largely take you away from the constituency?
I think that the travels for the minister are not cast in stone. I also know that you can delegate, and based on the experience that I have, I know that it is possible to have a fine balance between visiting the constituency and the official obligation of the minister. So I'll walk the fine line. Thank you.
When I referred to travels, I wasn't only referring to, when I talked about travel, I wasn't only referring to foreign travels, but I'm saying that I was also referring to local travels across the length and breadth of the country. Are you saying that you will, because of constituency demands, not visit various tourism sites to actually see for yourself the potentials?
Honorable Chair, that is not my suggestion. I will find a fine balance between what is officially my task as a minister of the industry and also my responsibilities to my constituency.
Do you know some of the... You want to ask something?
Honorable members, I believe in a situation like this, our constituents understand. When we fit into a new role, if you are with them every weekend, probably you may not be able to do that, and they perfectly understand.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable nominee, let me know from you how you intend to manage the agencies under you. By the way, how many agencies have you identified as being agencies under your ministry?
Thank you, Chair. We have about 14 of them, 13, 14. But I also do know that a restructuring of the ministry would be important going forward because some responsibilities overlap, but these are things that I'm sure that once the structures are properly set in place, we should be able to address. But for now, I think we have about 13 or 14 of them.
Can you mention a few of them?
Absolutely.
Please proceed.
Yes. We have the Museums and Monuments Board, the National Theatre of Ghana, the GTA, we have GATOF, we have the Du Bois Memorial Center, we have the Kwame Nkrumah Park, which is part of museums. We have the Centers for National Culture, the National Commission on Culture, the National Theatre. Yeah.
So these 13 agencies, the heads of these agencies naturally would be political appointees. You agree with me?
I believe so.
Would you consider members who are qualified from your constituency and the voter region, considering the limited number of people getting opportunity to serve in ministerial appointment to fill these vacancies?
On merit, yes.
I should take it that in these agencies under your ministry, Ghanaians should not be surprised if you are filling them with members of your constituency on merit.
It would be wrong for me to do that. I think that all Ghanaians will be given the equal opportunities, and the best candidates will take the slot.
I'm not talking about regular employees. I'm talking about the heads, the chief executives, the director general.
Yes.
So you are going to conduct interview for the chief executive, director generals, because you are saying Ghanaians will be given equal opportunity. I want clarity how you facilitate this appointment.
Chair, these are areas of specialized areas. You can't, for the life of me, expect that because you are a constituent and you like me and I like you back, I should automatically put you there because you have applied. If you don't have the competency, it will be difficult for me to put you there. It's based on that I'm suggesting that equal opportunity should be given to those who apply and the best candidate put in the place. I believe that's the best way to go. Thank you.
So you would agree with me that the peace of this country will materially enhance your success as a tourism minister?
If you kindly come back again, please.
The general peace of Ghana. The general peace of Ghana. Okay, so let me give you a background to it so that you can appreciate what the point I'm trying to make. I spoke to some friends in the industry who are into hotels, and they tell me that before the elections, the bookings they were having were just around 25-30%. But after the elections, the occupancy rates increased. I asked them why. They said, well, because of the fear, these foreigners who were coming in, because of the fear that of the outcome of the elections, the uncertainties and all. So though we were entering into Christmas, they were not willing to come. But immediately we had the elections and they realized that Ghanaians were generally peaceful. They started booking. Right. So you get a background now. You get a background. So I now put the question to you. Do you agree with me that the general peace of Ghana would necessarily enhance your success as a sector minister?
I agree, not only as a sector minister, but as a Ghanaian, for my own safety as well. Thank you.
Very well. So, would you be concerned about violence in the country, post-election violence, wherever it may be occurring? Would you be concerned as a tourism minister?
I'm always concerned, and I don't have to be the minister to be concerned about it. Thank you.
What advice do you have as a tourism minister? What advice do you have for those Ghanaian youth who may be burning party offices, who may be involved in unnecessary violence merely because Mr. President could not appoint people from their communities? What advice do you have for them?
Honorable nominee, I don't think we have any evidence to the effect that Ghanaians are doing such a thing merely because A or B has not been appointed. So if the Honorable Minority Leader has such an evidence, then he can table it.
Honorable Chairman, thank you very much. Honorable nominee, you would agree with me that when a new government comes into office, there is general anxiety and expectation for political appointments, generally. You would agree with me?
Yes, to be fair.
You would also agree with me that not all persons will want to manage their disappointment in a peaceful manner. You would agree with me?
Well, human behavior, is dependent on each individual. I'm not sure that you yourself would disagree with me. That seems to be the case.
You would also agree with me that for those who are unable to manage their disappointment in a peaceful manner and resort to violence, such violence creates a negative impact on the tourism potential of the country.
Well, Mr. Chair, to be fair, people across all disciplines manage their failures differently. Some people are just sour losers, and some people manage whatever failures they find better. I would just say that it shouldn't so much be related only to my work, but as a country, we need to be more tolerant of one another. And we need to learn how to do unto others what we want others to do unto us. I think that when we have fellow feeling, that it doesn't matter that I was nominated and you were not nominated, because it's only a matter of time. Thank you.
So in view of that, and as tourism minister, what would be your advice to the youths who may not want to register their protests in a peaceful manner as a result of such disappointment?
Chair, I'll urge all our youth, regardless of whether it's political or not, that we are in a civilized society. Institutions are available for you to seek redress if you are displeased about a decision that's been made or an action or inaction that has been taken or not taken. That you find the appropriate channel to express your concerns is the way to go. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Chair, on that note, let me congratulate my respected colleague. Mr. Chair, in the political space we operate in, we have moderates and we have extremists. And I want to say this to the nation, that our job as political actors is to move to the center. Whether you of the right-wing ideology or of the left-wing ideology, moving to the center is what matters. Some extremists are of the view that when we get onto this table, we should be at war with you guys, and that we shouldn't even be nice. To those, I say no, that's not the politics of the country. Therefore, knowing who you are, I want to assure you of our support as a minority in the chamber. We'll be very constructive in following your affairs in the ministry. We, however, entertain no doubt that in view of your background, in all you've done for yourself, all that you've achieved in life, which we know, you will not fail the people of Ghana. But be minded that you are joining a government. It's not your personal enterprise. So you have a lot of work to do. I wish you all the best, my mom. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable members, my leader humbly has breached the brevity principle that he established from the beginning. But nevertheless, let me proceed to recognize the guests behind the nominee. We have Togbi Amenyafiti, the fifth paramount chief of Aflawood traditional area. We have Togbi Nyatako Saba of Kliko traditional area. Togbi Adama Makoso of Soma traditional area. Brigadier General Lord Ativon, Professor Ernest Dumont, Miss Maukwenya Yawo Gomashie, Miss Gloria Ofori, Mrs. Grace Aku Adovon, Mr. Dola Gomashie, Nanahima Ajwa Awindo. You are most welcome. I will proceed to thank the nominees sincerely for appearing before the committee, very composed in answering questions. You will hear from the committee. You are hereby discharged.
Thank you very much, Chair. And I want to thank the industry for coming in their numbers to support me. And of course, my constituency executives and my traditional leaders as well, and my family. Thank you very much for having me.